Good morning everyone. We'll today start with discussion of how to fill your UPSC 2025 application form. So the problem this time is the application form is very elaborate in nature, right? And we all know because last year there was a lot of controversy regarding misuse of your UPSC's application form, multiple times appearing even beyond the attempts, also changing name also, right? Then changing fathers into there was a lot of controversy, and because of this UPSC has taken very strict procedure with respect to application form. Now, before even we start discussing things, one thing you have to remember is now there is a provision of OTR, one-time registration. Right? So, I'll keep on comparing how this time and previous years are different. So previously when you used to fill your prelims form, there used to be just simple form. You write your name, father's name, your category, the correspondence address, permanent address, and further your educational qualification. And if you are a male candidate, you fill the fees and the work is done. Major form filling used to happen after your prelims when you have passed. Now, because to take certain measures to prevent any kind of fraud cases, they have come up with this one-time registration. So, one-time registration is with respect to all the UPSC exams, right? So, from now onwards, when you do this registration on UPSC website, it will be there for lifetime till the time you keep on giving attempts, right? Whatever attempts you have, 6 attempts for general, right, 9 attempts for OBC. So that new form which you will be filling, this will not be changed, right? But they have provided one relaxation that only once you might change your things in OTR, but the mobile number and your email address, that you cannot change, right? Say you by mistake you wrote wrong spelling of your names, right? Or by mistake you filled certain option which by mistake you did, or you're not very sure that you did the right thing and you realize it was wrong. So you are allowed to do any change, but only once. And email and phone number will not change, right? Because again, it's a source of creating certain kind of fraud. You change your phone number every year, you change your email address every year. So it was a source of fraud, so that has gone away. So only once it is allowed. So now, you might feel that it's an easy form, that OTR, when we're talking about OTR, it's not, difficult in nature. I'll just show you. So when you open your form, this comes in, right? You click on new registration, you click through email, through your mobile number, right? So if you are already registered, if you click on this new registration, then what happens is you get a form for registering all your profile, which you have to fill in with respect to OTR. Just a minute, this one. So now when you go to your OTR one-time registration, name will be there, gender will be there, father's name, mother's name, right? Then your category will be there, right? Address will be there, right? And when you are writing name, there is an option that have you ever changed your name? Now, yesterday a student came up with a query that by mistake I filled yes, but I have not changed my name, right? So first and foremost rule is be very, very careful while you are filling your forms, right? You cannot afford any mistakes, especially during this time, right? When they have made the procedure very strict, right? So when you are reading form, double check it thrice, ask somebody to check it. Sometimes we are filling the form, we feel that we are filling it right, ask for another set of eyes to check it, right? Why I am saying it appears to be simple, but again it's a very important application form which you are filling. there is a possibility that you might get confused, or you might get nervous, or you might get anxious, because it's very full-fledged, very lengthy kind of thing to fill in, right? So be very careful. Now that person, he got very anxious, he mailed UPSC also. I told there is an option to edit it. If you go to the OTR section, I've shared it in the group also, in the extreme right you will find out there is an option edit OTR, and when you click that edit OTR, you will get a page which again tells you that you are allowed to edit your OTR basic information, your name, your father's name, your category, right? Or if you have a disabled, in the disabled category you are, that is only allowed once. It cannot be changed ever, right? So please keep these things in mind. Address can be changed, but the email and mobile number can never be changed, right? Are we clear about OTR? Right? Now comes the second part, where you have to very properly read this notice, right? Reading the notice and notification is very necessary. Don't jump on to filling things. First go through that notification and notice. Two things are there in detail. We will be discussing what are the important things there, but from your side also, first read this document. Ask your sister, ask your brother, ask your parents also to go through it. Don't take filling of your form lightly. It's very important, and especially, I am again reiterating, especially during these times when UPSC is taking extra efforts, right? It is collecting data of around 15 lakh people, right? In which only your hardly 15,000 people will be giving your mains, right? So it is collecting data. It is a tedious job, but it is still doing, because it doesn't need that next fraud should also happen. So be very careful when you are filling. So now here only one time you are allowed to edit your form, right? Then there is a facility to make correction in field of your admitted online application form. After you complete your OTR, there is a online application form also that you can do it within your 12th February to 18th February, right? I will tell you which things can be updated. But your closing date is 11th, right? After that, there are few things which can be changed, but you can do it in this time period, right? One very interesting thing which I found out in this year's notice is that at the end of every page they have written, government strives to have a workforce which reflects gender balance, and women candidates are encouraged to apply. So it's a very good thing, general thing, not related to the exam filling, but at the end of each page they have added this particular thing, right? Anyhow, then candidates will not be allowed to withdraw their application after the submission of same. You cannot send emails to UPSC. This provision was there before that I want to withdraw my submission and form, file a new form. In fact, in previous time the systems were so lax, people sometimes had done some mistake, they again used to fill the new form, and whatever with respect to new form roll number comes in, they used to go and give exam for that. But now that is not possible at all. You have to be very extra cautious while filling these things. Once you submit it, there is no going back. Anyhow, the UPSC helpline numbers, they're not very responsive, right? They'll take their own sweet time, right? Even automated message will come. Real answer to your query will take a lot of time, and anyhow you don't have even a minute to waste now that the prelim is near, and if you're anxious about your own form and candidature, right, so it will create a negative impact on your productivity and your going through your prelim related content, whatever you are reading. So be very careful here. Then last date of receipt is 11th February 2025. This you should remember. Please don't waste for the last moment that I'll fill, I'll submit it on 11th February, till the time, I'll keep on rechecking it. At the last moment I will, sometimes we procrastinate, sometimes we want to ask people things that, okay, tomorrow I'll take a session with some teacher, then I'll fill. Please don't do things at the last moment. I'll tell you one example. In 2017, your rank 1 was there, Anu Kumari. So she, she had to fill her main specific DAF, detailed application form, right? Now she kept on, postponing the submission of the form, and when well within the time period, well within the, the date of last date, when she tried to submit the form, there was some problem with the website crashed, and she was not able to submit her, the preference of this service. That was a separate form which used to get previously. She was not able to submit it, and when the result came out, she was rank 1. In spite of being rank 1, she was not able to get her home cadre. She was from Haryana, right? And the cadre, which if you don't fill the cadre preference, so there are general rules that whatever will be left, right, according to the the groups, you will get that cadre. She got Kerala cadre, right? So now that is not her home state, not even near her home state. She tried to submit within the time limit also, but again there was some problem. So don't rely on last moment things. That okay, ample amount of time is left, I'll do at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. This can lead to a lot of consequences. You can never trust technology. If on the last moment the website crashes, who will you blame, right? In fact, she fought in the court also, right? She fought in the administrative tribunal, she fought in high court also. Same result was there, that you should have filled the form on time. Right? She said, I was there, I did it, but the website was not working. But the court said this, that you had lot of time in between. You could have filled before also. You waited. There was a technical glitch. But now all the candidates who have submitted the application on form, that will be a kind of, it will create a negativity, or it will not create a good impression on them who had done the work on the right time. So please don't wait at the last moment. That is very important. Then obviously they have given the facilitation counter and everything, but the responses are very slow. Now uploading of the photograph. Now photograph, please don't use your school, college photographs, right? Get your new photograph clicked. 10 days they have given that the photograph uploaded should not be more than 10 days old from the start of application process, right? Please do not use old photographs, right? This, please take it seriously. Your entire hard work for last 1 year, 1.5 years will go to waste if you don't fill the form properly, right? Now they have given that name of the candidate. If the photograph is there, name and date has to be there, and the face should occupy 3/4 of the space, right? And one more thing is there, when you go to the examination center, please carry 2-3 copies also. Usually they don't ask, but here it is also written, right? And sometimes they might ask, because on the printed your admit card, sometimes the photo is not clear, right? They want to cross check it. So carry your passport size photographs with you. So get a good number of extra copies also, and follow these particular dimensions when you are going, and it has to be uploaded in the JPG format, right? So just check your dimensions, and whatever is given here is correctly mentioned, and do carry extra photographs also. Then service preference, I'll come in a little bit of time. I'll talk about service preference which you should be filling. Yes, choosing of the center is also very important. You're not allowed to change the center afterwards, right? So if you want to go for Hyderabad, if you want to go for Delhi, right, just choose your centers very carefully. And there is a myth in aspirants that if you fill certain center, you will get no marks. There's nothing like that. Just fill some city where you can give your mains examination comfortably, right? Because mains examination goes on for around 2 weeks, right? And when your GS is going on, there is a morning slot, there is a afternoon slot, right? So you have to come back, take your lunch, and again go back. So take it in a city you are familiar with, where transportation, lodging is easy for you while you are giving your mains. Prelim anyhow, it's a matter of 1 day only, so it doesn't matter. but main center, it should be nearby, it should be comfortable for you to travel. These things please keep in mind, right? Are we clear here? Okay. And they have given the options, right? Main center are very limited. They are in the major cities only, right? Prelim, but you have lot of options available. And your major choice of your main center, this matters a lot, right? Because 2 weeks you have to travel, come back, right? Again go next day. So you should have proper arrangements in whatever city you are using. For you, I feel Hyderabad is the best bet, right? If you are not from here, you have your PG or whatever, wherever you have your flat, etc. So it will be easier for you, right? And these, things people used to do after mains, they used to think, but now you have to think about everything right now, right? That's the issue. So that is why this form filling is taking a lot of time. You have to think around multiple things. Although service preference you can edit, your hobbies also you can edit, right? They have in the form, they have told that after prelims result, right, 15 days will be given where you can edit your educational. 3 things they have told. So in case you clear your prelim and move on to the mains examination, you are allowed to edit your educational qualification, right? Say somebody has just cleared their graduation or just ended their post graduation, which happened after you filled the prelim this application form. So you have the option to update it. Second type of updation here is, previously what used to happen is you had to provide, when you're giving mains, you have to be providing your degree or whatever internship certificate in case of doctors there and then. But now UPSC has given a relaxation that your degree will be updated or checked during the personality test also. Because there are certain colleges who delay giving the degree, right, internship certificates or NOC. So sometimes it takes time. So they have given a more extended time period that when you go to interview, then you can also get it, right? Here you can fill that, okay, I have given exam or still awaiting results, something like that. So you will be allowed to give your mains examination. Other than that, if you got any updation in your educational qualification, you are allowed to edit. 15 days will be given after the declaration of result of prelim to edit, right? Then you will be allowed to edit your service preference in these 15 days also, right? And you will be allowed to edit your hobbies also, right? Although the option of editing is available, I would suggest that you just finally do these things here and then only, right? We'll be discussing which type of hobbies or which service preference has to be there. I feel just finalize it, don't leave it to after mains I will do something like that. You have an option, but I would prefer that you finalize the things in your prelim only. Any change, major change happens, then obviously you have a chance. But treat this form as your final form, right? That I should not be editing after that. So these 3 things you can update after prelim result in case you clear your prelims examination, right? Are we clear? And again tell yourself, OTR form, there is no provision of editing. Once if you fill a wrong information, then you are jeopardizing your candidature in UPSC. They are very strict now, right? Okay, so these are the 3 things which can be edited. Now, I'll first talk about the caste certificate. Right, there might be many people might be availing SC, ST, OBC or EWS reservation. Right. First of all, the certificate has to be in the format which has been provided in the annexure. Usually the states have their own format, right? They'll give their own certificate. That will not work. A proper annexure has been provided, downloaded, get it printed in the same manner, or whenever you go to the competent authority, may it be Tehsildar, may it be district magistrate, whatever, the competent authority is there. ask them, and usually they do it. They usually get this request very often. So just go to them and tell that you need a certificate in this particular format only, because other formats are not accepted, right? Second thing you have to remember is your caste has to be in the central list, right? If you are a scheduled caste, scheduled tribe or OBC only in the state list, then you cannot avail the reservation. You have to be in the central list, right? So there is a proper central list online. Just check your number, what is the number of your community, and that you can avail. So usually what the state authorities who are issuing your caste certificates do is, they will first issue a certificate in their own format that will have a number, and when you present that this format is needed, so they just add a line that this certificate has been issued in reference to the caste certificate number already issued. So that is not a problem, right? But format has to be which is given by a UPSC. That is very important. Now the date of certificate. The date of certificate should be before the closing date of the application. So before your 11th February, your caste certificate should be dated before that, right? It should not be expiring before that, right? So that is the date. After 11th February it is expiring, that's not an issue, right? They don't ask. There were certain students, say for example there is a person A who has a caste certificate, right? And his caste certificate, say 11th February is the date and it expires on say 13th February. Doesn't matter, right? In fact in mains also they will not ask, because while you were giving an exam you were eligible for it, right? So the date has to be within the closing date, right? Are we clear here? It should not expire before it, right? Are we clear about the dates? So be very careful. Don't use your old caste certificates, especially OBC certificates. When we see, usually all the states have a validity of 1 year only, right? For SC and ST, different states have different validities, but specifically for OBC, because your income criteria is also there, so validity is just 1 year. So be very careful about the validity of certificate also, right? Then with OBC and EWS, where your income is seen, ITR of last 3 years is very important for your parents. These things used to be asked before, after the mains examination. Now in prelims only they are asking. Previously what used to happen is, prelim form is that you just do a self declaration that I belong to say SC community, I belong to OBC community or ST community. You just enter your certificate name, that's it. Nothing was asked. You are allowed to give your examination. Now they are asking you to give your caste certificate also, the last 3 years income tax returns also. Now there are certain students who will say that my parents have not filed. I'll answer. Now there are certain students who will say that I do not have last 3 years ITR returns. Go to your CA, check with him, backdated ITRs can also be given, right? Certain fine might have to be given, but you can get. But ITR, in ITR form number 16 is there. These are very important things. Please note it down if you belong to a particular category. Form number 16 of your income tax return is very, very important for OBCs and for EWS both. I'll just show you the years they are asking for.
Ma'am, for agriculture background, we don't feel any idea.
Agriculture, the income is not taxed, that is not necessary. But if you are in the service or parents are in business, then ITR is needed. Agriculture income anyhow is not counted. Yes, for OBC candidate, it's on. And please read this document also thoroughly. Don't depend on videos, etc. because everybody has a different case. Now, the OBC candidates, it's written clearly, the OBC candidates applying for CSE 2025 must produce first of all is a non-creamy layer certificate. If you are in the creamy layer, anyhow you are not eligible for OBC, you will come in general category. Then you have to give the, you have to be a creamy layer based on 2021-22 financial year, 22-23 and 23-24. So basically last 3 years, right? And one thing is there which you should remember in your OBC reservation is that even if in 1 year your income is less than the prescribed, you are eligible. 3 years consecutively it should not cross, right? Say 8 lakh is the limit. So out of 3 years, 1 year also you have less than 8 lakh, you will be eligible. But 3 consecutive years, if it is more than 8 lakh, then you are not eligible as a non-creamy layer. Right? Are we clear? And please, EWS and OBC certification, it's very tedious, right? And there are a lot of paperwork involved, especially because it is based on income criteria. Be very thorough with the things, right? And in next year, try to do one thing. Ask your parents to file ITR even if it is 0 rupees, right? You should have certain proof with you, right? You can file ITR even if you are below the income tax rate also, you can file it. People usually which are salaried and they do not have any, they are less than the 5 lakh brackets, they also file it, right? So it's not necessary when you have to pay some tax, you have to file. Anyhow, you can file it, and it's a very important document. Right? In fact, even if you have to go abroad and study or travel also, your ITR serves as a very good resource to tell them that you are earning certain income. You can afford this particular trip you are taking abroad or something. So it's a very important document. From next year, just make sure your parents are filing for ITR even if it is 0 rupees. Right? It's an important document. Now these 3 years, you have to check. And if your income criteria is less than 8 lakh, even in 1 year, you are eligible for your non-creamy layer OBC certificate. Are we clear? Now for EWS. And one thing also in the notice, it is mentioned you're not allowed to change your category. People did it a lot last time. Right, in the last 5-6 years when EWS came about, they were general before and then they turned into EWS. Some people were in OBC category, they turned themselves into EWS. So a lot of fudging of documents were happening. In one sense, this elaborate application form is beneficial only. It is protecting a genuine, honest candidate who is applying for the examination. Right? So you cannot change your category. You cannot, next year you can say that, okay, I will show less income, I can become an EWS. No, you cannot. Once your category is submitted, you will appear your consecutive exam in the same category only. Right? Are we clear here? Then for EWS, again, income and asset certificate based on income of financial year of 2023 on or after your 1st April, after the completion of your 2023-24 financial year, right? So your income will be seen from this criteria. Now EWS, I don't know how many students are there in this category. This is with respect to family income, entire family. When you're talking about OBC, it is just your parents' income. Right? This is the difference between OBC and EWS. So these minute things please keep in mind. Don't fill wrong things. Even if you do a honest mistake also, your candidature, they will not listen anything. Right? So be very careful. What are the income tax returns they are asking? In OBC, non-creamy layer, even your father's or mother's job service status is also asked. Right, whether they are in group A, group B, group C, because again, and students who are in the OBC or SC or EWS, you can come and ask separately if you have any other doubts also with respect to OBC or SC, because that's an elaborate thing, right? So be very careful about the category which you are filling. General, anyhow, there is no documentation allowed, required, but for your OBC, SC, ST, right, and your EWS, you have to be very, very careful. Otherwise, it will be declared as a fraud on UPSC, right? Your candidature will get cancelled. So be ready with the required documents. You have to anyhow upload here it also, right? And second thing I forgot to tell you, name has to be according to the matriculation or secondary school certificate, not your birth certificate, right? So whatever is there on your CBSE or ICSE, whatever board or the state board you have taken in the 10th, right, or in the 12th certificate, whatever your name is, that has to be there. And then if you see in the father's name, they have written in red that you don't need to add Mr. or in mother's name Mrs. or something, just the name. Right? So be very careful that the same name which, and you know, these things appear very simple, but there will be 3-4 students, aspirants who will come up, okay, I have filled it wrong name, my name was changed or my name is different in birth certificate. They are asking which is written in the 10th class or 12th class certificate, that name should be there on the application. Right? Are we clear here? Any doubt up till now? So these are certain basic things, and especially, just 1 minute, if you are in the PWD category, there you will need a designated doctor's certificate to declare that this is the percentage of your disability you are suffering, and whatever the benchmark disability in the form it is dictated. So whenever you are availing for reservation, you should be ready with crystal clear documents to be uploaded. Right? There should not be any ounce of doubt over your candidature when you are filling these categories. Right? Yes.
Regarding family income of EWS, is salary also included in that, or else?
Yes. Total family income.
Or else, like unlike OBC,
OBC is different. OBC or salary is not included. That's a different issue. EWS, the total family income is included.
Even the salary.
Yes, everything. Agriculture anyhow is exempt. That is true for any kind of category. Agriculture income is not included. But in your EWS, total family income, right? Everything is included.
In application, we need to upload ITR also?
I think there is a provision for ITR. That is how you will prove that your income satisfy the criteria for being a non-creamy layer or EWS. So you will have to upload it. And for your OBC reservation, if your parents are working in government institutions and they have been directly recruited into group C or group D, then your salary is not seen, right? Salary is not included because you got recruited into C or D position. Additional family income, whatever rent is there or any other, that is included, and agriculture income is also not included. So you might need a service certificate from your father's or mother's office also, that he was recruited as group C or he was recruited as group D, right? Or he was promoted to group B after 40 years. Then also you are eligible for OBC creamy layer. If your parents are recruited directly into group A jobs, IAS, IPS, right, or they are MPs or MLAs, then you are not in your OBC non-creamy layer. You by default are a non. Even your caste might be, you know, backward in the other backward classes, but because your parents got recruited directly to group A, you will not be eligible for your non-creamy layer certificate. OBC reservation is a bit difficult to understand. I would suggest people who are applying for OBC, right, or other certificate also, SC, ST, they can come and ask me separately any query which they have. Right, I'll tell them separately because other students this information might not be, but basic things I've told you. Be ready with the service certificate, be ready with the ITRs, right, and show the proof of your income basically. And financial years, which when they have mentioned financial year, it means ITR is needed. ITR will only tell in this financial year what was the income, right? Okay. Income criteria is only for OBC and EWS. That's it. For SC, ST and for your PWD, there is no requirement of showcasing of your income. You just need to be in the central list. That's it. Right? So it's not required in SC. Income certificate is needed for OBC. That's very important. EWS also and OBC certificate also. And if you are from the agricultural background, you can show your agricultural land. Some documents will be there, upload that. Anyhow, agriculture income is not included, but you have to show that, okay, this is the, source of your income. So EWS and OBC, they are little tedious. I would prefer that any person should come for a one-to-one interaction. There are a lot of nuances when you're filling. Don't fill anything wrong here, right? Okay, rest question we'll see. We'll move on to. Yes, if you filled IFOS and CSE together, if you clear both of them, you can appear for both of their mains. If you have cleared ones and missed one, you can appear for that. That's something obvious. I've earlier filled DAF. Should I keep? No, it's not necessary. If you have earlier filled some UPSC examinations, say CAPF, their hobbies were different, there will be no cross-checking like this. There's no problem in that. But yes, major things, name, address, father's name, mother's name, that should be same, right? Hobbies, etc., they can change. There is no compulsion that once you take a hobby, all your life you have to have that hobby. That's not an issue. Okay? Now, next thing is service preference. Now, one thing you should remember, cadre we have to fill after mains only. Sorry, after your prelim result gets declared and you have to sit for your mains examination. So, those 15 days which were given for updation, they are there for cadre also. Right now, you don't have to fill the cadre, but you have to fill the service preference. Service has to be given. Now for this, I'll just briefly tell you, when we are talking about service, there are three most coveted services which everybody who is preparing wants to go back for, right? These are the major services out of these three only, right? So they are also your, basically your Group A services are there, rest are your central services. Now this all India services, sorry. So these are your all India services. So these three for sure will be in your, you will be choosing your first preference out of these three. Now I'll tell you about few things. If you are, most of the people, 80% to 85% will choose Indian Administrative Services only, right? So I think for that you are very clear. It provides a lot of job diversification is there. Maximum contact with the public is with respect to your Indian Administrative Services, right? You have a chance to formulate policy, you have a chance to implement policy, right? For your first 10 years of your service, whatever cadre you will get, you will be posted in different regions. Usually after 10 years of your job, you are in the capital city. So that way after 10 years, you will have a kind of easy and better life standards because you are in the capital city. So if your cadre is Telangana, for the first 10 years, you might be posted anywhere. After 10 years, very high possibility that you will be in the capital region, right? So anyhow, the benefits of IAS. IAS is not something difficult, but these two, sometimes there is a confusion what to put on the second number, right? Or some people are interested in foreign service and police service as a first preference also. So few things I should tell you. When we are talking about IPS, fill your IPS as your first preference only and only if you are genuinely interested in police services, right? And first check your health status, your fitness level, which are the certain criteria which are given. There is a criteria for your eyesight also, right? You should not have any injuries. There are certain people who got into IPS but they had to resign because some injury happened, right? And they could not complete their training period. So training period is very tough, right? And job per se of police services is also very tough. It's kind of a 24/7 job, right? You never know when in the middle of the night some murder happens, some thefts happen, some rape happens, you have to be there. It's a tough job, very tough job, but it's a very interesting job if you are interested in your, law and order section, right? So depends totally on your preference, right? And if you are aiming it at number one, right? People usually write IAS at the first option and IPS as second, that okay, next coveted service is your IPS only. But if you're choosing it to be number one, right? Write only if you're genuinely interested, or fitness 5, you are sure that I'll be able to complete the training, right? I'll be able to be fit while I'm serving as a police officer, right? And it's not a gender specific job, I would say. There are a lot of great women IPS officers also. So don't think about the gender angle at all, that I am a girl, I should not go for IPS. No, there's no harm in filling IPS as an option. It's a all India service, right? It's one of the most prestigious job, and secondly, uniformed job has a next level charm is there, right? You will never find out who is the DM of a particular district, but from far you can see that some police officer is coming, about SP is coming, or your ASP is coming. So there is a charm of uniformed service also. So don't see the gender angle that I am a woman, I cannot do it. Every year there are a lot of women who are passing with flying colors in your IPS also. But just see if you are genuinely interested. In every service, I would say, if you are genuinely interested, IAS everybody is interested, that is for sure. But next order which you are filling, you should base it on your interest. Second is your IFS. In IFS, you have to remember 67% of job you are there in your foreign locations. 33% of time you are in India, working in MEA, Ministry of External Affairs, or sometimes in the regional passport kendra, right? So this will be, so it's not that all the time you will be outside India, right? But again, IFS, you have to consider that you will be away from your country, right? Then other thing is that, I had a chance to interact with a very senior foreign service officer who had been posted in very coveted countries. He had been the ambassador of one of the country. So he was like, I was genuinely interested in Indian Forest Service. But the only issue which I found out, which for you might be genuine, I'm just giving an option. I'm not, see, any service, if you have interest, you fill it up. I'm just giving pros and cons of every service, right? Indian Police Service, uniformed, law and order, right? You have actual power to change things around you. IS, anyhow, right? When we're talking about Indian Foreign Service, plus point is you are representing your country at international level. What is more proud than this particular thing? That in some foreign country, you are the spokesperson of your country, right? So it's again a coveted job. Then your salary is paid in dollars, right? If salary is a motivating factor for you, so around, it depends upon the country, the living standard here, but around $3,000 to $5,000 you will get, right? So pay are usually higher than their counterparts in the other service, right? Plus you get extra benefits also, right? There are a lot of other budgets also, because there you might have to host some other country's ambassador, so you get extra money for that also. So that's a different issue. Then, your housing facilities in foreign countries is in the prime locations, right? One of my friend got posted in Paris, so her apartment was such that from the window she could see the Eiffel Tower, right? So these are certain, benefits or perks of a job, right? And obviously, I would say your deciding factor should not be money or what kind of house I am getting. You should be genuinely interested in that. And IFS, I told you, you will be representing the country at international level, right? But continuing with the story, that senior IFS officer told me that once I completed my service, I came back to India. I had no contacts, right? Because half of my life I was outside. People who are here, say your IS, your IPS, you have a lot of contacts because you're working on the ground. So I lost all my contacts abroad. Now I'm like a normal person who is retired from a government service. So that is one. But he said that, Shilpa, one thing is there, the things I learned outside, the kind of exposure I had outside, the feeling I felt representing my country at international levels, at UN, at various other international organizations, that cannot be matched. Right? So again, do a pros and cons analysis, see the cost and benefit, right? If you are a person who is not comfortable with staying away from your family, right, then probably you should not choose your Indian Foreign Service, right? But again, these services, three of them are very prestigious. All services are prestigious for any way, but still these are most preferred services. Choose the order in the way you have a certain interest in that particular service, right? Then next comes, which is usually next field, is your IRS IT, IRS Custom and Excise, and your IAAS. These are the next services. Now, these services, the best thing about these services is very amazing work-life balance. For most of your service, you are in the metropolitan cities. You are not in the villages, you are not in the small tier 2 cities, right? Work-life balance is very wonderful. It's more like initial few years of service is tough, right? You'll have a lot of work. But here, your work-life balance is very amazing, right? So it's a 9 to 5 job, power, house, etc. They're almost same, right? But you don't have a 24/7 job. It's not in that, tax or customs, etc. It can wait. It's not that somebody is dying or somebody got murdered, right? So that way, but it's very interesting in nature. Here, when you are in this IRS IT, you study basically 2 laws, Income Tax Act and your Prevention of Money Laundering Act, right? It seems like 2, but they're very big, right? So income tax law is like this thick book, right? So these are the 2 laws which you will be studying during your service period, right? Your training period, you will be going through it. Then for your custom and excise, coming up with the GST. Previously, income tax used to be filled in the upper, order as compared to the custom and excise. But now coming up with the GST, right, people have now changed their option, right? So in custom and excise, you might be posted with respect to your GST, with respect to your customs, and even narcotics, right? So drugs and narcotics. One advantage of your custom and excise is it's again a uniformed service, right? You get a uniform, although it's for like a few initial years of service only when you are your assistant commissioner. When you become deputy commissioner, it's not required. But again, it's very interesting. It is people-centric job. You have a lot of contact. You have contact with respect to industrial sector because GST etc. comes from there, and the port section you have drugs and narcotics. Again, very interesting. It's like a law enforcement only, right? So if you have interest, you can opt for these service. My preference would be placing this custom and excise over IT. Rest is your choice. I can only tell you various pros and cons of the service, right? So these services are also as coveted as IAS, IPS. Only advantage is that your life is very, balanced in nature. You're not 24/7 on the call. So make your decision. Then audit service. This is also a good service, right? Its training institute is in Shimla. It has a colonial, building is there, and the institution is situated. It's a very beautiful area, right? In case you miss Labasna, after Labasna, I feel IAAS Training Institute in your Shimla, and in fact IFOS in Dehradun. These are the 3 very beautiful training institutions, right? And then IAAS has also opportunity of foreign posting also, right? So in case you want to, usually you will put it after this IRS only, right? So it's also good service to apply, right? Because audit rules are more international in nature. Income Tax Act is only for India, right? Customs, again, there might be, because you are dealing with international trade also, there might be possibility of foreign posting also. But again, IAAS has better chances, right? So again, out of these, whatever interests you after your these 3 services, fill up this, right? Say for example, there are different permutation and combination. One person wanted just IS, right, and he was not interested in other services. So he did one thing, and one thing you should remember is you can appear for your you cannot appear for your rank improvement if you are in your IFS, right? You cannot improve. So what she did was first preference IS, next preference your IRS customs, right? So that she has a provision of EOL. She can take a leave in case she doesn't go into the IS. So again, depends upon you. Some people are not interested in IPS. So what they will do is first option IS, second option IRS, and they are not interested in IFS also. So first option is IS, second is IRS, and then third and fourth they'll fill IPS and IFS. So anyhow it's redundant because your second option is much lower service, right? So totally depends upon what you want to do in life, right? Next 10 years, how do you feel that okay, you are okay with sacrificing your personal life, you want to be associated with policy making, you want to be associated with law and order, you want to be, taxation is something which interests you, audit is something which interests you, right? So totally depends upon your choice. The next services, if we are talking about, there are certain services which you can consider. Another service is your defense service is there one. So basically there you are like a district magistrate in the cantonment area, you're like an IS only. So that can be the next option if you want to fill in. I'll just show you the various services. See, services can be changed later on also. So if you are having confusion, if you are wasting a lot of time on it, you can fill the basic first 4-6 the preferences, and later on you can edit. There is no problem. Now this table shows that list of services identified for person with benchmark disability. So if you are in the PWD category, certain technical services, especially your IPS, and there is railway, certain railway services are there, you are not eligible, right? They have given the the benchmark disabilities. You can check in with this table. So we have discussed IS, we have discussed foreign service, police service, right? So usually people fill in this order, right? Then Indian audit also we have discussed. Now next after Indian audit service, which I can tell you can be one of the preferred service. Whatever I am telling, I am just telling as a reference point. At the end of the day, if somebody wants to go in, say IRS as the first option, there are certain people who value their life and work balance. You can put IRS as the first option. There is no harm, but you should be ready in interview to answer. They might ask you why you have put IRS and not IS. Right? So after IAAS, this service I am talking about. Indian Defence Estate Service. So in the cantonment area, in the defense area, you are like a IS officer only. Right? So you can go for this particular service also. Then railway services are also very nice. The perks in the railway service are very good. Right? One of the obviously perks should not be your deciding factor, but railway, their houses are very good, right? Colonial houses, big houses are there. So if you are interested, you can go for railway. So here you can choose, right? Traffic, personnel. This personnel is better, then you can put in traffic, and then you can put in your railway management, and then protection force service, right? So just decide the order in which you want to go. Next can be the railway service. Then one more thing is there, these three services. DANIPS, right? These are Group B service. Delhi and Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Daman and Diu, Dadra and Nagar Haveli civil services. That is DANIPS, Group B. So you are kind of an administrative officer. After 10 years of the job, you are promoted to an IS officer. So if you in case feel that okay, if I don't get a good rank to go into the IS, this can be a choice. Even you can fill it, but it's a Group B job, you should remember. Other jobs are Group A. So only after 10 years you will be promoted, right? So keep these particular things in mind, and you will can be posted in Andaman Nicobar Islands also, Daman and Diu, Dadar and Nagar Haveli. So these are remote areas. But advantage is after 10 years you are promoted to IAS or IPS if you are taking up DANIPS. Right? So just ponder upon these small topics. Otherwise postal service became little redundant, you know, in the years, but recently when your e-commerce, your postage has started, your e-commerce websites, they're using your courier services. Again, there has been a revival of postal services, but I think you can keep it at last or somewhere, right? Then information service is also good, right? So then trade service, information service, these two you can choose above your postal service, right? Then armed force headquarters, this is also fine, but again a group B job. This group B job only have after your group A only, because the charm of group A job, even if it is postal service, is next level, right? But if you have a longer plan in mind, I have one friend, her father was a DANIX officer, and after 10 years he had difficult 10 years in this Lakshadweep etc, but after 10 years he was IAS. So if you have this vision that by any ways I have to be in administrative service, and in case I'm not able to improve my rank, I will still have a hope that I will get IAS services after 10 years. Right? Obviously your seniority will be less, that's a different issue, but you can choose out of these services. Are we clear here? But see, major fight is between IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS Custom, IRS IT and your IAAS. After that, fill Indian Defence Estate Service. And then rest small railway, after Indian Defence Estate, you can put up your Indian Railways personnel can be there, Indian Railway accounts can be there, there are good jobs, right? Then after that, if you are interested, DANIPS and DANIX can be filled in. Postal, you can see postal can come at the end somewhere, second last or third last, right? Some people put DANIPS and DANIX at the end also, that we don't want a group B job, we want group A only, even if it is postal service. So after those 5 service, rest depends upon your choice, right? Major difference I have told you, major defining features were there like in DANIX, DANIPS, or with respect to your defense estate service I have told you. Rest you see, you decide, right? So anyhow, anybody who starts giving civil services, you usually think about IAS, IPS only. Right? So this, just see the major points I have told you and make a decision about that, but don't waste too much time here, right? I would prefer you finalize, you know, in next one day or something, but in case you are too anxious, right, you're not understanding, you have seen so many videos, you are very confused, just fill 6-7 services which you are very sure about. Rest you can check after mains also. You shouldn't be wasting your time also. It's very crucial time you're preparing for prelims. You do not have liberty of time to waste on deciding on service preference, right? First you have to clear prelims, then only the service preference will make sense. Right? So these few things you should keep in mind. Okay, your father works in Saudi. So what is his salary there? If salary is above 8 lakhs, then you know it will be counted. Doesn't matter if he is in any other country. Salary should be now less than 8 lakhs. Ma'am, I wear spectacles. If you are wearing spectacles, please wear it in your photograph, don't remove it, right? These are few things you should be, and you know, usually what, because these are small things, but again you might feel that it is very kiddish why we are discussing that. So usually when you are wearing specs, when you get your photo clicked, flash comes and your, you know, eyes are hidden. So what you can do is go to an optician shop, get a empty frame and put it on. In your photo, nobody can recognize it's empty or with glasses. You can get your photo clicked with the empty glasses, or without glasses, a frame can be there, right? But if you are a regular user of your specs, do get your photo clicked with your specs only. What if I don't remember my attempts? Just check your mail. Just type on your Gmail UPSC, you will get your previous things. You don't need to remember the roll number, but at least you should know the number of attempts. That's very important. This very thing happened in the Pooja Khedkar case. She had written wrong attempts, right? She kept on giving after 9 attempts also. So this is something you should remember. What if I'm not fit for IPS, then I will give IPS in the preference list. So if you're not fit for IPS with respect to fit, I'm not saying that, you know, if you are obese you cannot go for, if you have any injury, right, or your BMI, one thing more, in your medical test your BMI is checked, right, and if you are in the obese category, right, you will not be given a service allocation until and unless you clear the BMI level. So while you are preparing, please take care of your health also. There have been a lot of people who are rejected because of BMI, body mass index. So IPS, if you feel that because of specs or something like that you are not eligible, you can pick up IS, and then, you know, if you want IFS or IRS, and then fourth option can be IPS. You can fill it like that, or you can skip altogether. It's not that, one thing more is there, it's not necessary you fill. Usually all people will do. If you get some rank, even if the last rank, you would want that you should get some service, right? So in case you are very sure that okay, I'm not eligible for IPS, you can skip also. But I would prefer at least in 5th position you put it, and if somebody asks, tell that you were not fit, that is why you have put it. See, if you have applied previous any UPSC exam and you have filled all the things in the OTR, now you won't be able to change. If you have appeared before in any UPSC exam in general, now you cannot change. This will not happen. See, your certificate should be eligible till the last date. Just check your expiry date of your certificates. That you have to check. See, with respect to your eyesight, you know, some people get, so I'll give my example. So I had gone my eyesight correction test. So for those people, apart from your normal medical test, there is a special medical board of ophthalmologist, of the eye doctor, who check if your retina is healthy or not. Retina should not be in, you know, it should not be injured, or, you know, it should not be in unhealthy stage. So for you, there will be a second, you know, specific medical test will be there, where certain specific tests which are not there for everybody. And also one thing, people who are wearing specs, there is certain power, I am not really sure the exact number, I think beyond 5 or 6 power, right? Again, you will have a special medical test. A special medical board will be there. They will check the health of your eyes. If they clear it, then you can go for the technical services also, right? So there is no problem if you get correction also. Just the eyes should be healthy. Basically, that is the point. What is the process to find out cent? Just Google central list of your SC community, your central list of scheduled caste, you will get it. So see, say if you fill the form and you decide that I am not prepared, or you miss the exam, right, then that attempt is not counted. But if you sit and give the prelim exam, then the attempt is counted, right? It's not that only if you write mains then your attempt is counted, right? This is a simple thing, but again there can be issues regarding that. Yeah, any dental procedure, there is no harm. You can appear for it. State issued SC certificate in a format of UPSC, that has to be given, right? State only will issue, but in the format which UPSC gives. Okay, so just join the Telegram channel of RC Reddy, right? There we will share the annexure for OBC, SC, ST, everybody. You can check the annexure, right? Even we'll share the link of your central list of SC, OBC, etc., so that you can check your community number, etc. Okay, now service thing is sorted. Anybody has any question with respect to any service? Any confusion is there, please ask. Yes, anyone? At the end of the day, it's about your interest, right? Even when you are choosing your optional also, or you are choosing your this service also, end decision has to be taken by you. Nobody can decide for you. Right? Don't listen to people. There will be people who will discourage you, don't take police service. If you are interested, why not? People will sometimes discourage for foreign service also. If you are genuinely interested to represent the country, why not? Right? Don't think, this is your job. Till you're 60 years of age, you will be doing this job, so you should be genuinely interested in doing this particular job. So fill your preference in that order. What I have given the preference is the generally which is done by the aspirants over the year. A general reference I have given pros, I have given cons for every service. Right? At the end of the day, you have to take that particular decision. I can help you to tell that, okay, this might be better than this particular service. So if you have any issues after the class, you can come and ask. Okay, now with respect to your hobbies and one thing more, the medium of exam and the language paper you are choosing, that can also not be changed. Right? So language paper, usually your regional language. If you're good with Telugu, write down. If you're not good with Telugu, Hindi and other regional languages are there. Only the people from Northeast are exempted from appearing in the language paper. Right? Rest choose whatever regional language you are comfortable, and the paper is not tough. Right? It's a qualifying paper. General grammar is asked. Right? One question is essay. Right? So that carries around 40 or 50, I'm not very sure, but this many marks, so you can score a lot there. Then there will be a reading passage in Telugu, you have to answer those things. So the qualifying marks you will clear it, there is no problem, but at least you should have basic understanding of that regional language. It should not be foreign to you. Right? And hardly if you donate 3 or 4 days, you can easily, because all of us have done some or the other regional language till 10th standard, so I don't think so that should be a problem. Okay, this is the detailed application form. When you apply for the preview, this comes in this form. While filling it is different, but while you fill, this comes up. So here you have to write your name, your communication, where it has to be sent, correspondence addresses, where if any case somebody wants to correspond with you, any letter has to be sent, which address should be there. Right? Permanent is what is permanently your place of residence. One thing more, your caste certificate has to be from the state from where your father belongs. Right? If your father, say for your service purpose, she is working in Tamil Nadu, doesn't mean you have to get certificate from Tamil Nadu. It will come from your own state only, Telangana only. Right? This is sometimes a confusion because some people have migrated, say in the last 20-30 years, they are living in some other state. But still, certificate has to be from the state to which your father belongs. Right? So this general information you will fill. We'll just come to the hobbies part. Language paper you have to indicate here. Language medium for interview also. If you're not comfortable with English, you have other options also. But I would say prefer English only. This is just preference I am saying. Otherwise, I'm not being, classist or something, you can speak only English. But general I am saying that should be the most preferred language. So now here you have to fill in your annual income, right? Any annual income which is there. Then certificate number, date of issue, designation of that annexure will tell you, which we'll share, that which officers they are eligible for giving you the caste certificate. You just check that particular list. So not from any officer of the state you can get your caste certificate. Then educational qualification. So now from here onwards, from this 14.2, importance is there for your interview. Right? General questions might be asked about your place of birth, your city where you have grown up. Right? Rest of the questions will come from your educational qualification, from your school time. Right? Say for example, somebody might have studied in Kendriya Vidyalaya. So the interviewer might ask you about what are these Kendriya Vidyalayas, when they were, established, what is the system of these schools. So even one word is very important. Whatever you write now onwards. Before was general information. So you can always answer about your own city. There won't be a problem. You can always answer about where you live. You will know that what is popular there, I'm just telling you the interview questions. Now from here, you should have total knowledge about it. Graduation, although you lose touch with your graduation, still questions from graduation will come. If you have done your engineering, the examiner might ask you about engineering. If you've done your MBBS, BDS or pharmacy, questions can come from here. So here, starting from here, information is super crucial for your interview. Interview question will be extracted from this information as well. Then here you can write down, if you were ever employed, right? You write down. Then if the candidate, yes, if you have working in the government service, then you have to also mention specifically that I am working with the government, right? Any state or center. If you have been self-employed, or if you have been debarred, that information will come, right? We'll just move on to the hobbies part. Yes, this. Now this part is also very important. First you have to see university, state, national level. So anything you have won in the school doesn't matter. Right? You have won something in 6th class, 7th, that doesn't matter. University, state or national level. Any medal has been there, that is important. So while you are filling this part, absolute honesty, right? Your UPSC board will in seconds find out that you have fudged your hobbies, you have fudged the details of your extra co-curricular activities. Think yourself, you might be in your mid-20s, 24, 22, right? Now if you are sitting here or you are standing here, right? And there are few children who are from say 1st standard, 3rd standard. If you ask some question to them and if they lie, in seconds you will know from the expression of the child that he is lying. So those people, they are very experienced, right? They are 30, 40 years elder to you. They have been in government services. They have seen people, they have seen liars, they have seen people who are honest. So from your body language, from your facial expression, right, from your hand movements, in seconds they will find out you are lying. And once they find out you are lying, then your interview marks, they will be, it's gone. It's a gone case, that they will not give you good marks there. So first thing while you fill this area is honesty. It's totally okay if you didn't play any sport. Right? I gave interview twice. I had one of the most toughest board, which was seen that he is very tough, he doesn't give marks. I had 184 once, and surprisingly next time also I got the same board. Again people were very afraid. I got 187. Right? And that board was seen as somebody who doesn't give good marks very easily. Right? And I never filled anything in the sports. I played sports only till my 10th standards. I was into lawn tennis, but after 10th I didn't play it. Right? I got into this medical stream, etc. I didn't get time. Right? So I didn't fill it. I had played school level, tournaments also, but that's wastage. Right? Because they have asked of your university, state or national level. So I left it blank. Still that didn't, hamper any chance of me of getting good marks in the interview. So don't worry, right? And one thing also is there, most of the students will say that this exam is so tough. Our entire day goes into studying only, and now they're asking us hobbies. Whatever hobbies we had, it has already vanished. We have no hobbies now apart from GS 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are our hobbies, right? And that's true at some level. But something would be there which you do to relax yourself, right? Which can be anything. Reading can be there, right? Then, cooking can be there. Any kind of thing which brings joy, right? So when you're writing cooking, so it means you need to have basic information. If the examiner asks you about different spices and you're not able to tell, right, which spices, say you write, I like cooking Telugu food. So you should be ready with, okay, I like to cook this particular, and they might ask you that, okay, tell us the recipe. Right? There might be a member who is Telugu sitting there, you never know. right? And then if you fudge that, okay, this has to be put and this, that, in seconds they will know you have been lying, this is not your hobby, right? So don't ever lie on your this particular things. Other things, so anyhow you know, you cannot write a wrong name, you cannot write wrong address or something, you cannot fudge your caste certificate, that's a obvious thing. But here also don't invent hobbies, right? Just see, some people, different hobbies can be there. There is no conventional or unconventional hobbies. One of the student, she had a habit of making, handmade things, greeting cards, or sometimes something special for her loved ones. So she wrote that as the hobby. That is also a hobby. Anything which you do, which you like, and which you have knowledge about, you can write here. Sometimes some people write, I like reading Bhagavad Gita, right? But you need to have knowledge, you cannot fudge it there. So if you have read Bhagavad Gita, you have good knowledge about Bhagavad Gita, that can become your hobby. Then there are numerous links. You like gardening, but if you like gardening, you should know everything, which soil, which plant is there, what usually grows in summers, what is the way to grow on them. So everything should be known about that. Even sports, if you are writing, say you wrote that I played badminton, right? So you should know all the rules, even the playground dimensions also, right? Even the rules with respect to how the points are given to the player. So you should be knowing whatever you are writing. List you will get online, there are numerous, but you should be actually interested in that, right? And hobbies you have to fill, right? It's any person is there will be one thing which you like doing. Even people, there are certain your male candidates who write that I like analyzing cricket matches. So you can write that cricket is something, or football, I like watching football. That's a hobby, right? So what they will do is they will ask you questions related to football. There, if you have good knowledge, you will create a good impression. But if you have just seen one match in your life and you just know there is Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, then you are in danger, right? Because you just wrote something from the social media that these are the two popular players and you don't know the rules of the game. You've just seen that game once in your life. That will be counterproductive. So one rule here you have to remember, that be honest, and you will have one hobby would be there, right? Nowadays, I feel because of social media, there is only one hobby left, scrolling the internet, right? That you don't write, right? Scrolling Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, this you can skip. Other than that, teaching children, right? Teaching in general way, right? I like, anybody can write that, okay, I like doing embroidery, right? Or I like bird watching, right? There are numerous permutation and combination you can write with respect to hobbies, what you have genuine interest in, right? And you have genuinely done that particular thing. Last 2 years, forget about it. Obviously, you were busy, you might have lost touch with whatever you have been doing. But before that, you might have something favorite to do. Even you can write down that, there was one person who had written that I like to watch social issue related documentaries and movies. Valid hobby, right? You like watching movie. There are certain movie buffs, right? So they will like to analyze it, right? This particular scene, it was shown, it had a hidden meaning. There are a lot of people like this. So the options are immense, right? But you have to be honest about it. Just sit down and remember what thing brought you joy before these 2 years when you went into UPSC preparation, right? When you were bored, what gave you certain, thrill or certain joy when you did that particular thing? May it be watching cricket, may it be watching your movies, may it be, cycling, or going to the gym also can be. That I like to, gym is something which I consider it as my hobby, fitness, right? I like to read about fitness, right? Or I like to make different recipe. I like to watch cooking videos and prepare food. So the list is wide, right? Numerous things you can add, but you have to decide. I cannot tell you there is no best hobby. People write very unconventional hobbies also, right? So those things where you can answer with confidence and it feels like yes, this hobby is this person's hobby only. He or she has not written out of the blue just for the sake of filling the paper. That should not happen, right? So these things you have to keep in mind. Okay, watch black and white Telugu. Yes, you can write that. It's a hobby. I have diploma in Carnatic and I put singing. Singing, if you can actually sing, there have been incidences where people were asked to sing, right? So if your voice is not good, they will imitate. And they might not also ask you. There's a possibility. There have been certain, depends upon the board. There have been certain students where they were not asked even a single question out of hobbies. They were only asked about your current affairs which is happening. That can happen, but you have to cover all your bases. You never know which question will come. So some people write about writing poems. So you should be ready that, okay, they will ask you which poem you have written, recite it. So if you have actually written something, you will remember it by heart. So like this, there is wide scope is there. I am 20-year-old and I will be 20. Where graduation should be done. That is the main thing. No, for general there is no caste certificate needed. General means this only, that you don't need to prove you belong to this particular caste. See, OBC is based upon your parents' income. Your own income is not added. If you were previously employed in government sector and you have resigned, then you can just mention it. Then there is no specific thing for you. Otherwise, you will have to produce NOC certificate if you are working still in the government sector. Ma'am, can you please give regarding promotions with respect to IRS, IT, IRS, custom and excise? It's not custom and IT, it's C and CE. Promotions almost, and IRS, IT and IRS, custom and excise promotions are almost equal only. And your posting is according to the zones, right? You choose a zone, like you choose North zone. For 8 years, you will be there in one position only, in one city only, right? And usually there are people who spend their entire life in the same zone, in the same city also, right? So that's very flexible in nature because the number or the cadre of IRS officer is very large. So that's not an issue. Your promotion depends upon your seniority, your this age, your rank, right? A lot of things that you should not worry about right now. You just worry about the preference should be there. Service wise, both of them have almost equal perks, salaries same, right? But just the designation names might be little different, that's it. Right. So, when you are writing about prizes, medals, scholarships, just write with respect to your university state level. Here probably if at your school level, if you won some national scholarship, then you can write down, right? Some state scholarship you won, then you can write down because that is something to be highlighted about if you won some scholarship for that. Then sports or NCC, if you have done or played any kind of sports or you've done your NCC certification or something, you can write. If not, you can just skip it. There's no problem. Right? In fact, when you will come to the stage and when we'll discuss about your interview stage, in interview stage, even if you don't know any question, you can anyway say, sir, I don't know, I don't remember, right? There are a lot of people who have said, I don't know, even consecutively 2 times also, and they've got good marks because at the end of the day, you are a student, you are a human being. There cannot be that everything you will be knowing. So what I am trying to convey here is be honest, right? So if you have played something, good. If you have not played, please skip this part. As far as, proof, they will always not, obviously they'll not ask for proof that bring that scholarship certificate, bring that participation certificate. That is not required. Only your graduation, etc. thing is required. But again, if question comes, if you're clueless about it, it creates a bad impression. Then extra co-curricular activities and interests. hobbies, etc., which I have told you, right? So you should be knowing a background about that, right? Whatever hobby is there, right? If say you are talking about cricket, football, right, or something in science, right? So you should know about its evolution, you should know about its importance, you should know about the rules with respect to that. If you are writing, I like reading novels, you should be prepared with your favorite authors. You should be prepared with the famous English authors also if you are reading English novels, because they might ask you that, okay, tell us about this particular person, right? Questions are, lot of expectations are from this area only, right? Because this is in front of them. This is the, apart from current affair, to know you better, to know you as a person, this is the area where they will ask questions, right? Are we clear here? Any doubt up till now? Now rest, I think we have covered all the bases. Rest, just be careful while you are filling. With respect to caste certificates, caste eligibility, please come and ask one-to-one. Be ready with your caste certificate in UPSC format issued by competent authority. Be ready with the income certificates and the ITRs which have been referred. If you don't have ITRs, please go and talk to your chartered accountant. Hire a chartered accountant, ask him what is the way out. Right, I'm not really sure, I don't want to give you a wrong information. Ask him what can we do to have form number 16 is applied basically. Right? So these are the few things which you have to take care while you are filling the your UPSC application. You will have an option of preview also. Take that particular preview, take a printout, again read it, right? Give it to your anybody who is your friend, your father, your your siblings, anybody. Ask them to cross check everything, right? Because again you are under a lot of pressure right now. You have to fill the form also, you have to prepare also, you have to attend classes. There are a lot of things going on right now, and on top of it this complex application form has come. So take the printout of that preview, get it checked, double check it, right? Be prepared, upload the documents which they have asked you, right? You have condition of editing the service preference, educational qualification, right? And the hobbies after prelim also you will be given 15 days, right? But I would suggest, my preference would be finalize right now only, right? So, and submit the form well before the closing date, and once it is submitted you cannot withdraw it. OTR, any problem, something which is not editable, please drop an email to UPSC. Ask them for a solution rather than going on different Telegram groups or somewhere. That can be, because that will create a line of communication also. It will act as a proof also that you informed UPSC about this particular thing, right? So in case something is not editable now, and please don't do this thing that okay, OTR is done wrong, now I'll use a new phone, I'll use a new that is what was the problem in Pooja Khedkar case. New email IDs, new phone numbers, even father's name was changed as new. The system will catch it that this form or this OTR with similar entries was also filled once, right? System will catch it. They have done lot of reforms in the system in last 1 year. So please, if something non-editable you have done, please mail UPSC. Don't worry, they'll give certain solution. The response time might be little late, but they will give some solution to it, right? But don't write wrong things. That should not be there, right? It will not just cancel your present candidature, but also your future chance to appear in the paper will also go away, and you don't want that particular thing, right? Any other doubt is there, then please ask. Otherwise, we'll end the session. Interacting with people is very generic in nature. Probably you can say, I like to discuss on some issue, political issue. Interaction is very general. Interaction is if you greet someone also, that is also an interaction. So I like to talk about political issue, economic issues. I want like discuss about philosophy. So if you like interacting with people, you can give certain specificity to it. Interaction is very general in nature. Dance, yes, you can write dance. There's no issue, but they will ask you which type of dance, right? You like, I like, you can, it's not necessary you need to know some classical dance. You can write that, okay, I like to dance to probably Hindi songs or Telugu songs is okay. That's way of my relaxation. You can write that. Theatre, art, dramas. Yes, you can write that. Yes, one thing you should remember. Please don't go overboard with the hobbies. Right? That you are writing 5 hobbies. 2 are enough. Right? Because more hobbies you will write, more grilling will happen. So just restrict it to 2, even 1 is fine. At max 3. Don't overfill the drama, theatre, reading, cooking, teach. This is, anyhow one person cannot do so many things. So just choose 1 or 2. What you feel is significant for you, you can easily answer question about that. Right? ITR, yes, how will you show your income? ITR are very important. ITR have to be attached. Yes, you will have to upload the annexure. In the annexure section, you will have to upload. Beating drums. Yes, can I mention? Habit of beating drum, like proper drums you are talking about. Yes, you can write it. Yes, state level you can write down. Sports, if you play certain sports not in the state or this national level, or at least you should have played in university or something. You cannot say that I play with my friends or something. That is more of a hobby, right? Say if you play cricket with your friends in your neighborhood, that is a hobby, right? That is not a sports which you have taken up. If you have done it at your college level, university level, national level, state level, then write it. Otherwise, put it in the hobby section. Prizes, medal, achievements, section empty. Okay, this is tricky. Prize, medal, achievement. Some achievement you might have had in college level. Something might be there. Just think about. But if in case it is not there, then you can leave this okay. There's no bias, right? These are just indicators of your personality. But try to think if some, even if you in college you presented some paper or something, you got first prize, second, that also you can write down. You participated in a play or you played something in your college level, you can write that also. Chess, yes, chess can be written. Yes, NSS, yes, you can write NSS. Volleyball, yes. Yes, you can mention if you have played in your college. International relation and internal. Yes, you can write down reading about international issues or reading about internal security issues. That also you can write down. There's no problem. But be ready to be asked question, because international relation is a very wide term, right? They can ask you relation with any country, and if you get stuck, then obviously it's not your hobby. Speaking, reading, writing section, whatever, that's simple. Whatever you speak, whatever you can read, right, and which you can write that particular language, right? Usually in India you will find out English, Hindi and our regional language. We can write also, we can speak also, right? And we can read also. Some people, they might have some extra language where they can speak, right, but cannot write. So that way you can indicate it here. Yes, whatever you know actually that you can speak also, you read, whatever options you can take that particular things, no problem. New OTR should be, new OTR cannot be created. It should not be created. You can edit it except from your phone number and your email ID, and that also once. Other than that, OTR, new OTR, please don't create. Send an email. What is the issue? Please let me know. For ST there is no income certificate. SC no income certificate is there. I belong to SC category. My age is 26. So you are within the age limit only. You don't need to file age relaxation. Only when you go beyond 32 years of age, then you write that I have availed age relaxation. Right now you are well within the age limit, even for the general category also. Pharmacy students eligible for IFOS. This I have to check. I'm not really sure. Which just check the notification once. ITR for general category. No, for general category nothing is required, extra documentation. Can I change my mobile number in OTR? No. Should there be a date mentioned on the passport? Yes, it is written, date and name has to be mentioned. I have less than 8 lakhs, but I have ITR. Zero return, it would work. There's no problem, but at least ITR, even if it is zero return, it's a proof that it is zero. Right? So upload it, there's no problem. Can I change my caste number which I enter? Caste number, how did you enter it wrongly? You have to check if there is a option, there will be edit option, otherwise Telangana government. See, if you are working in any job, private sector, government sector, even if you are earning beyond 8 lakhs, it doesn't matter for OBC, for just OBC. Your personal income is not counted. Your parents' income is counted. For EWS, entire family's income is counted. That you have to make sure. If you are going for OBC, even if you are withdrawing more than 8 lakh per annum as your salary, doesn't matter. It is only pertaining to your parents. I got scholarship for higher education. Yes, you can write that from state government. In case you want to sit and listen to the online queries, you are welcome. If you want to leave, because it's already 12 o'clock, you can leave. There are other mentors also. Gautam sir is there, Sai Teja sir is there. Any issue? In the meantime, I'll come, you can ask them also. It's given in the, I have highlighted that document. Last 3 years basically.
I don't know, I got my new OBC in certificate, so I don't know whether it's based on last 3 years or not.
In the last 3 years, is your income less than 8 lakh?
Yes.
Then it's okay. You just put it, because the certificate which is made, right, it is based on those ITRs only. And if it is saying it's non-creamy and your ITR also prove that it is under non-creamy, there's no problem.
Salary, whenever salary is included, then it would cross 8 lakh.
Salary is not included. Only the extra additional income, and agriculture is also not. From other sources basically. There is income from salary, income from other sources. In OBC, income from other sources is seen. Where are your parents working? It's a group C job or group D? It's a group C.
I guess it's group.
Yeah, so you don't need to worry about the salary part. So it's a group C job, just get a certificate from the organization that this person was recruited in group C job as this designation on this particular date. That's it. He should get it from his office.
So no need of Form 16?
Form 16 still is needed, because Form 16 will have income from salary, income from other sources. So they will skip the income from salary and they will see the other sources part. But that will be obvious for you because your father is in government service and he has been recruited in group C. What about your mother? Then the issue is, no issue is there. She's a housewife and her father's recruitment post should not be A or B.
Yeah.
If it's not A and B, then you are safe. Then you are in non-creamy layer.
So do I need to get the authorization certificate that
Yes. C is group C, that is required. No, general format, general from the letterhead of the organization you can get that.
Okay.
Service status certificate basically. See, your state is in Andhra, new district bifurcation, Aadhaar card address. This is a little tricky question. Problem. District doesn't matter. So even if you are living in Andhra and you were living in one district and you change to other district, you will go to your original where your father was born and get the certificate. I do not have NSS certificate, but then if you participated in NSS, you would have a certificate. Ma'am, I got, please explain, should I get income certificate? Yes, ITR are necessary, it is mentioned, financial years are mentioned that are necessary to be attached. How would you prove that your salary is less? Through ITR forms only. upload, or yes, his original documents, just get it scanned from the market in the colored format. What is the email ID? Just mention the email ID in the group, grievance. We'll mention in the group. Ma'am, can I add class representative position in college? Yes, you can write down this leadership qualities, yes. Can I change my caste number? Have you submitted the form? Then you cannot change. But if you still have not submitted, then there might be an option for it. ITR for SCs are not there. One of my old hall tickets is missing. You can skip the roll number part. You can just type 0 there if you don't remember the roll number where you have prepared in prelims before. Yes, certificate things, if you're not submitted, you can edit it. You can write teaching and next option will be government or private. You can mention that. I am 20 years, can I give attempt? Why would you want, without graduation, you are not even eligible. So please don't apply it. UPSC is very strict now. If you will fudge something, next year will be a problem. So your graduation is still not complete. 20 years, nobody clears their graduation. So please don't fill it. Ma'am, my mother is a government teacher. This is done. Non-creamy layer, last 3, yes, ITR are important. Again, I am saying, how would you prove that you are having income below the designated levels? Even if you are agriculture, land is there, there might be some other income through rent or some other purposes that will be declared only through ITR. So ITR are very necessary for OBC and EWS. Yes, you have won a gold medal, you can write down. Class leader. School time would be insignificant, I think. How can be, if you don't know your previous UPSC roll number, mention it as 0. It's okay. They have also mentioned in the notification. I edited my name, a single word which I have. This change name thing is a big issue, see. That is why I am saying there is no solution to it. If you have given a wrong spelling and you have saved your OTR, it will ask you with respect of change of name. So this UPSC can only help. That is why I am saying please be very careful while you are filling it. It's a question of your future. It's not just a simple form. RC Reddy's group is there. Just go through that. We will share any extra information there. If you want to message me personally, but it will take time because there are so many students here on the online, around 120 are there, so you can message here S0390. Message your query here. This is my personal Telegram ID. You can refer here. Our state provides caste and income. See, state can have any kind of format. Your format has to be UPSC only. So state format will not work. When does your 6th semester gets over and will you have your degree by the time you are appearing for interview? If yes, then it's okay, otherwise no. How come you're 20 years and you are in the final year? 20 years person cannot be in, I don't think so. I think you graduate by 21 or 22. Chalo, anyhow, if you can get your degree by the time you go for your interview, then you can appear. Graduation is the bare minimum qualification for UPSC. So you update your Aadhaar card then, if the address is different. Work in an NGO, certificate, employment. Employment you do not need. Just mention it that you are working here from this date to this. Do not have any prices. No, that's okay. 2023 EWS is eligible for form. Just see the date when it is expiring. It should be within the closing date. Then it is eligible. Basketball match gold medal. Yes, you can write that. I think we have addressed all the questions. Still any issue is there, please go through our Telegram section. We'll share the annexures, and if any personal issue is there, I've given my Telegram ID. If in case you cannot come, I would prefer that you call here at the office and take a time for your personal queries. Rest, any annexure, we will share it on the group. Personal queries, I have given my telegram number, right? So all the best. Be very careful while you are filling it. Don't do silly mistakes. Silly mistakes will cost you a lot, right? Silly mistake will turn into big mistakes, and that will hamper your next attempts also. So be very careful in that. Thank you.